Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel Film Fans. In today's video, we are going to discuss why Hollywood will not hire Ellen DeGeneres from now on. Make sure you watch till the end. Now without further ado, let's begin. Number 10. Toxic Workplace. The scandal that sparked it all was allegations of a toxic work atmosphere. There has been some discussion over Ellen's treatment of others, whether guests on her show or employees. However, things took a turn for the better when real people began to speak up about how they were treated while working on The Ellen Show. Several former employees have come out to accuse Ellen of being a bad boss. Some people mention how she would utilize racial microaggressions and target each of her employees individually. After Benjamin Simon came up with 6 stories about Ellen, revealing how cruel she is and how rude she is to her employees, the world was shocked. And this initial scandal signals the start of the comedian's downfall. Number 9. Hollywood Mean Streak. People began to come out with their horror stories of Ellen when she was exposed for her toxic office atmosphere. At first, ex-employees jumped on the hashtag Ellen is over party bandwagon. However, soon after, numerous celebrities began to speak out about their interactions with Ellen, and many of them reminded the audience that Ellen's terrible attitude is nothing new. Celebrities have known about Ellen's Hollywood mean streak for years, and some have spoken out to expose her. Kathy Griffin, a fellow comedian, has been vocal about Ellen's nastiness, even writing about it in her book Kathy Griffin's Celebrity Run-Ins, My A to Z Index. She gushing about some horrible run-ins she's had with Ellen in her book, including some of the cruel things she's done to her. But Kathy isn't the only one who believes Ellen's nastiness is well known. Comedian Brad Garrett recently spoke up about who Ellen truly is behind the scenes. Some people, like Brad Garrett, were skeptical of Ellen's apology to her employees after she issued it. Number 8. Racial Injustice Tweet. Many celebrities came forth during the peak of the Black Lives Matter movement in 2020 to speak out about the racist injustices that many black people around the world have been subjected to. Some of them tweeted about it, while others marched in protest, but the vast majority of them sought to help by raising awareness. Ellen tried to do this, but it didn't go over well because many people believed her BLM tweet was off the target. Many individuals objected to her choice of the term people of color rather than black people because the movement was about the racism that black people have faced and continue to face. After deleting the tweet, Ellen made amends by tweeting her support for the Black Lives Matter rally and promising to donate to a number of charities and organizations. Number 7. Privilege. While everyone was still talking about how Ellen was truly behind the scenes, the subject of privilege came up, and many people criticized her for it. People started hunting for additional evidence of how she lived such a privileged existence after her tone-deaf comment about equating life in quarantine to life in prison. One person gave an example that a lot of people were surprised by. A former Ellen Show producer revealed in May of last year that Ellen once called Steve Jobs personally to complain about the font size on the iPhone. Ellen had lost her spectacles and was having problems seeing the messages on her phone when this happened. The former producer elaborated on the incident, adding, "That's her. It's not that she's a demon. She simply lives in a privileged bubble and is out of touch with the real world." Number 6. Quarantine comments. When everyone was trapped inside during the world's first coveted lockdown in April of last year, many individuals, including Ellen DeGeneres, began working from home. Her residence was used to broadcast The Ellen Show, and on April 6th, during her opening monologue, Ellen made some remarks about her quarantine experience that irritated many viewers. Ellen equated her experience of staying at home to being in jail during the show. The public was not pleased with the comedian's remarks, and she received a lot of reactions as a result. Her remarks were deemed disrespectful by individuals who are currently incarcerated, as their lives are put in danger due to infection rates. And many people interpreted her monologue as mocking those who aren't as privileged as she is to live in a mansion. Number 5. Lockdown layoffs. During the first lockdown the world experienced last spring, many workplaces underwent significant changes, with some employees shifting to working from home and others losing their jobs. Because of a severe lack of communication, many people, including many Ellen Show employees, had a very uncertain experience. Shortly after the show moved from the studio to the set, word broke that the Ellen Show employees had been replaced by non-union workers in order to reduce the cost of paying the show's other employees. As a result, many employees were left in the dark and without pay for several weeks, enraging even more people and making Ellen appear even worse. She was facing repercussions not only for being a bully to her employees, but also for forcing layoffs and pay deductions at this point. Number 4. Apology fail. When The Ellen Show returned after a quarantine vacation, Ellen had to make apologies for her acts and address some of the claims leveled against her, such as misconduct and workplace toxicity. The comic apologized for the things she had been accused of during her opening monologue, but it didn't go down well with her crowd. Ellen confessed that she was a work in progress and that she was unaware of the toxicity in her job during her apologies. Ellen also quipped that she isn't a good enough actor to come out here and mislead you every day for 17 years. People didn't appreciate how she largely deflected and made jokes about the situation she was in rather than opening up about her conduct, which only served to make her look worse in the eyes of the public and contribute to her mounting criticism. Number 3. Dakota Johnson interview. Many people consider actress Dakota Johnson's 2019 conversation with comedian Ellen DeGeneres to be the start of the #EllenIsOver party. During the interview, Ellen berated Dakota for not inviting her to Dakota's birthday celebration, and many people thought the whole thing was needless and uncalled for. Dakota held firm during the interview, effectively shutting Ellen down and preventing her from being painted as the bad guy, as Ellen wanted, but it also demonstrated how Ellen may go too far at times. The actress was handled in an unflattering manner by fans throughout her tenure on the show. After Ellen's cancellation, some saw it as justice for Dakota, because Ellen could no longer get away with her behavior. Number 2. Nikki Tutorial's interview. YouTuber Nikki Tutorial's testimony about how she was handled after being invited on the show in January last year was one of the incidents that served as a kind of fuel for the #EllenIsOver party fire. Nikki spoke out against the atmosphere at The Ellen Show during an interview in March of last year, saying, "The nice welcome attitude you perceive when watching Ellen isn't the reality in the studio." When Nikki arrived at the studio, she expected a pleasant welcome, but was instead greeted by an angry intern who was a bit overworked. Nikki also claimed that she didn't get the same VIP treatment as the rest of the cast, claiming that she couldn't even use the closest restroom, since it was reserved for the Jonas Brothers, who were also on the show that day. She'd also commented on Ellen's attitude, claiming that when the cameras were off, she was very cold and aloof, resulting in a very different feel on the show. This was not the reaction that everyone had anticipated. As a result, this became enormous news, which grew into a much greater controversy. Number 1. Twitter. During the height of Ellen's cancellation, podcaster Kevin T. Porter sent out a tweet asking for people to share their Ellen horror stories, promising to donate $2 to a food bank for every absurd story he received. Because of this tweet, many others have come out to share their negative experiences with Ellen, which has put a lot of fuel to Ellen's fire. Former employees and celebrities were not the only ones who came forward. Fans and others who have met Ellen off camera have also come forward to share some of their harrowing encounters with her. Because of the large number of people who responded to the instruction by tweeting, the controversy grew in size, making Ellen look more and more like a villain. As news organizations began to focus on the most important and outrageous stories to cover, Kevin's tweet generated over 2,800 comments, as well as over 17,000 retweets and 70,000 likes. This tweet went viral, causing the scandal to erupt even bigger than anyone expected, and causing irreparable damage to Ellen's career. Ellen's career might not have been as ruined as it is now if it wasn't for the tremendous attention this tweet received. Alright, that's all for this video. What are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.